Hello designers and welcome back to my channel. This video has been filmed maybe 6 weeks ago or so. I've collaborated with Sintija from Space for Edit and she has a YouTube channel, so you can check all of her details down below. This particular video will give you tips about how you deal or manage your client and your client's expectations, whether it's a good client for you or not. Because as interior designers, it's one of the hardest things to do is communicating with a client, and we all struggle to find our way. If you want to continue watching, grab yourself some coffee, something warm to drink, and come and have this chat with us. If you want to add anything in the comments down below on how you deal with your client or how you wish to deal with your client if you're self-studying, leave it down below. Otherwise, this video will help you tremendously. I guarantee you that. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's watch it. Hello designers and welcome back to my channel. Today is very exciting because we have Sintija in the house. Hi Sintija! How's it going?
Hi!
It's not like we've been talking for the past 30 minutes.
No, not at all. This is like our first interaction today. Absolutely.
Definitely.
How are you doing? What do you do? Tell us about yourself.
I'm good. I'm, like everyone else, struggling a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I like to go out and do things, and now I can't, so it is not nice. Yeah, but it's alright. It's alright. We're good. The weather's lovely. And what do? I'm an interior designer. Surprise! I do have a YouTube channel as well.
Our content meshes together really well as well. So if you're subscribed to this channel, her channel is amazing.
Yep, so I live in Manchester in the UK at the moment. I moved to England about 10 years ago or so. I'm originally for a very small country called Latvia, from the countryside, so I'm a full-on countryside girl, started from the bottom, now we're here. I always wanted to say that. Yeah, so today I'm super excited to be on this video. Thank you for inviting me in front of all of your amazing subscribers and your audience.
We are super honored to have you on this channel, and we're very excited to talk to you about the topic. It has been requested actually quite a lot, and you came up with this title, so it's managing your interior design client. We have a couple of pointers for you guys. We have a lot of experience in this field, and we thought we would give you a little bit of an insider look.
Sneak behind the scenes.
We'll start with dealing with potential prospects. So who are like the clients that you want to say yes to and no to, and what are your thoughts about this, Sintija?
Yes, I think it's obviously the first, sorry, my eyes are watering. I'm going to be doing this all the time, so I'll deal with it. It's fine. So obviously it's a very important stage. It's like the first moment when you meet your client, isn't it? So you really need to learn everything and pick up all the little bits and bobs about them that you can, because this is where you start to build your relationship. You need to learn how to read people. Like, I think interior designers, we wear a lot of hats, and definitely one of them is like a, I don't know, like a communicator, mediator. So you need
100%,
to know how to
yes. What she said, what Sintija said is 100% correct. Like, you need to be able to read your clients, and you need to understand that chemistry is a very important aspect of this whole thing. So your style of being an interior designer might not be exactly what their style is. Do you agree with me?
It's never about you, it's always about the client.
And there are red flags where you need, it's like a relationship. There are red flags when you see them, you need to run for your life.
Or at least make note, and then, because eventually, even if it's, don't give up on all clients. It's not like when we are saying, red flags, run away. That's still potential business, and we need business. But definitely make note of it and evaluate maybe later and see, like, okay, can this be managed and turned around later? Or is this going to be something that's going to stick with us throughout the project?
Yeah, and I know one of my friends, she's also an interior designer here, and what she does is that she charges extra if the client is difficult.
Hey!
Senses that they're difficult, she charges extra just so she stays on the right track, and I thought it was genius. So you need to keep that in mind. Don't be a difficult client or else you do extra. So what are your thoughts on this?
That's a very good tip. I'm definitely keeping that in mind.
For me, I will say a hard no if I see those red flags, which is, first of all, if they ask about the price in a way that's kind of cheap. There are people who are cheap, and that's okay. That's who they are. It's just that interior design is more or less a luxury for most people.
Yeah.
And if you're asking about the price straight away, I will label immediately that this might not be a good fit for me, not because I want to charge extra, but because they will be difficult in paying up, and that's not good. It doesn't feel, I think, Sintija, you had an experience with people not paying you.
Oh yeah, I've had, I don't know, at least like 3-4 clients in the past that have just like, no, not paying. I've done the work and put the heart and soul into it, and maybe not paid the whole lot, but haven't paid like the other half. I think later on when we talk about, maybe mention the fees, we can talk about it. But yes, it's a tricky thing, and if the client, and the worst thing is that unless you have like a lawyer and you know all the laws and everything, you can't really fight back much, and you can't really win that battle. You can say, oh, I'm gonna sue you and you not paid me and all that, but it just goes nowhere. It really goes nowhere, unless you are suing for like millions, but usually that's not the case. Well, at least on my projects, not yet.
Struggles, and this is totally normal. And I find another red flag is when they're arrogant. So they speak to you in a very degrading way, or they speak to you like you are, I don't want to say like their labor, but like, they're maid or something.
Say it.
Yeah, it's just, it's a big red flag from experience of telling you, if you see any of those signs, then they'll continue to treat you badly. And it makes you not want to do the work, which is not really a good look. You're not going to look professional and they're not going to actually be a good fit for you. Maybe they're fit for somebody who's like straight up disagreeable and rude as well. But if you find these qualities in a client, big no, red flag, goodbye, to me at least. If you need the business, if you need the project, that's a whole different situation, and you need to be able to say, you know what, no, this is not how we deal, and set your boundaries straight from the beginning.
Even if you, like you said, you need the money, you need a project, okay, take it on, but just be aware of it, and then maybe somewhere down the line, if you can't take it anymore, then just say, okay, this is where our journey ends. I've tried my best. I gave you the what is it?
The benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt, and you didn't perform, so I'm sorry, but we will have to go separate ways. That's another way of kind of dealing with and just taking responsibility of the situation.
By the end of the day, it's all a learning experience. You have to do what you have to do sometimes, and it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to judge people, or what's meant for you will get to you. Don't worry about it. Now we'll talk about contracts. And what's your strategy? Do you have a certain contract that you've written up and you go like point by point to the client?
I currently work for an interior design firm, but in the past I worked for myself, so I've got like a mixed experience in this. When we send out our contract to clients as a big company, usually it goes with like all your design fees, and it's like design fees, all your scope and everything, and then underneath there's a small print that is the contract. I guess I would treat it similarly when I've got my own little projects on the side as well when I was self-employed. But yes, everything would be talked about in that small print. We basically need to cover our backs. It's now it's all about you. In that contract, it's all about you. If in the meeting before it was all about the client, then in the contract, in the terms, in the payment terms, anything, you need to make sure that you cover every single thing.
You can even go up to the extent to draft a contract with a lawyer. If you can afford it, go for it. I know Kimberly Selden, also she's an interior designer. You know about her. We talked about her before. She also sells the contract. Quite a hefty price tag, but I think it's a good idea. It's a good business idea that she did.
Make money!
Yeah, like that for a sister. And it's not about manipulating the client either. More like understanding the exact terms and who does what. You need to clarify your terms. You need to clarify everything that you're doing and what you're not doing. And timeline is a really essential part in that contract. Understanding variations and how if they ask you for different changes, then you need to kind of ask for a price for that, because it ain't free, sister. What's your most important term in a contract? What do you think is most essential?
Payment terms? No, I think there's a few. So obviously there's the payment terms. It is important, and you know, that's the thing that keeps the bills going. That's the thing that keeps you going. You know, if people don't pay, you can't really do the work and you will fall out of love with it. So it's payment terms. I'd say responsibilities. So sometimes there are things that are agreed to be done by client, or client will take it over. So if I'm working on a commercial project, let's say we're working on a restaurant or a cafe, and they have their own equipment suppliers. You know, they've got their own beer tap things, dispensers, and they've got their own coffee machine suppliers and things like that. So that will be covered by them. Or any kind of responsibility to be dealing with like the M&E, like all the electrical installs or the plumbing and things like that. Something that you will not be taking on. It's important to mention all the things that you will take care of, but as much as important, the things that you will not take care of. Just so it's all black and white. I think those would be probably the two main things for me.
I totally agree with you, and it's an important thing to understand also what are their experiences with interior designers. If they had interior designers before, it's a totally different experience for us as well. If you're their first, you're the first, that's a different situation, and you need to be very detailed because they don't know what to expect, and that is totally your responsibility as an amazing professional interior designer.
Boom. I think that's quite tricky as well, because I've had some clients before that have worked with designers and they have dealt with them in a different way. I'm doing my process as you are, and then suddenly the client's like all confused and sometimes disappointed, or sometimes like, well, I thought you will take care of this and all that. So again, it's a process. Every project is a process, and every time you learn something new. Boop, 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 boop. Dance break.
Designing and managing expectations, which is one of the most important parts. And I've seen a blog post about this. It wasn't my own idea. I've had a lot of mistakes about this actually, and I wanted to share that in a vulnerable way. And this point is about under promising and over delivering. So I tend to be a big mouth. I say sometimes I really think I can do more than I possibly can, and I promise something and sometimes I don't deliver it, which doesn't make me look the best. And this is something that from now on, this is something that I'll 100% promise myself. And I don't know, I want to hear what you have to say about it, because I think it's important for us to under promise and then over deliver, so they manage their expectations this way. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the goal, right, isn't it? To be able to under promise and then just deliver more, or go the extra mile, or you know, whatever, surprise the client. And it is a struggle. It is a struggle, I think, because we are people pleasers. You know, our industry, like we said before, it's about the client. We want to please them, we want to impress them, we want to do our best. You know, we love what we do. So we just want to be like, okay, I'm going to give you all just gonna give you all of it, everything I've got, you can have it. And I will do it like tomorrow. Yeah, it's definitely a struggle. You know what? I think as a concept, my time management always works. in a concept, right? On the paper, it works, it should work. But in reality, what happens, there's so many other things come in the way. You know, because you are constantly, you're dealing with multiple projects. It's never like you've just got one project. Well, you're lucky if you can do that and survive of it. But usually there's different projects at different stages. So you have to plan it in a way that, okay, this is how it should ideally work if I would have all the time in the world to just work on this project, and then add like another day on top of everything else, because shiz will go down and stuff's going to happen on other projects. You're going to have to jump and split your time and work extra somewhere here and there. So yeah, that's a very, very hard thing. Like, I've been doing interior now for 5-6 years, and it's still a very hard sort of thing to manage for myself. I'm always like, yeah, I'm gonna get it to you by next week, and then next week comes like, shiz.
Like a plumbing issue happens in your house, and then your whole schedule is literally down the toilet. But it's true.
Yeah.
It's sometimes you have to plan, like you have to give yourself extra time when you're giving the timeline and fulfill your part. So the most important aspect is to make sure that you can do what you're promising to do. And it's okay to make mistakes. If something happens to you and you're relating to this somehow, that's totally fine. It happens. Like, we're humans, right? We're not, even if we're professionals, by the end of the day, everyone is a human, and mistakes are 100%, they're going to happen.
It's life. It's life.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. And if that stuff happens, if something goes wrong, or you feel like, you know, you're actually not going to be able to deliver in time, because, you know, you kind of realize it like a day before, you go like, okay, I'm not going to have enough time. Just own it, own up to it, be a professional, and get in touch with your client. Probably best to go on a phone call. I always think that's the best kind of a way to connect with people, on a phone call, Zoom call, whatever, and just explain the situation. And usually people understand. It's always like, okay, if you give me another 2 days on top of it, that's fine. And if not, then you're gonna have to go and get shiz done in time, you know, because sometimes they've got their own deadlines, you know, like when we work with some clients, sometimes we work with the middleman, not like the final client. So this middleman has got a deadline with the final client. So if we are late to this man, then he's going to be late to that man. So it's
for anyone.
you know, but again, it's just managing that and being honest and, you know, transparent. And everyone's a human. Everyone understands it.
I agree. And there is one tip as well that I read recently, and I thought that is very important. It's do not be apologetic. Don't over apologize. Don't say sorry too much. Instead, it's a customer service tip. Instead of saying, I'm sorry, I'm keeping you waiting, say thank you for being patient. And so you, in that way, you look less guilty, but also you're making sure that you're owning up to your mistakes, but also apologize when you need to, but don't keep apologizing on every little detail. It just makes you look less confident in a way.
It's just the same old thing, like focus on what matters and focus on what you want to see more of. You know, like same as in life. Don't focus on the negativity, focus on the positive, and focus on how you can turn things around and how, you know, you can make things better. So it's the same with clients, and don't be too like, don't accentuate that, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so rubbish, and this is going wrong, so sorry. It's all about like, don't even mention that. Just kind of pretend that you just kind of gone past that stage. I write so many emails. I start writing and then I go, oh no, actually, I'm not just even going to talk about it. I'm just going to get on to the point.
That's genius. That's a good strategy.
Yeah, like even this week, I actually had to do it this week, yesterday. We were late. We were late on delivering some costs, but you know, there were lots of things involved. It wasn't just me. So I started typing and I think I said something about like, my apologies for being late on and then I was like, you know what? No, scrap that. And I just said, please find attached. Let me know if you have any questions. And that's it. And press send and that was it.
I haven't noticed, for example, that you're late, then you don't need to say it out loud. Like, wait a little bit.
And even if they have, just don't mention it. Just don't.
I agree. I tend to agree. It's 100% the case. And if you don't follow this strategy, we'd love to see what you have to say, especially if you're an interior designer. Say it down below. And it definitely, we want to, honestly, Sintija, I am not saying this for the camera, but I feel like I'm learning from you. And I'm really grateful that we're having, like, I have this space to discuss it with a professional who also done it and who's struggling through the same things. It feels less lonely, you know?
Oh God, we are all dealing with these things. But the thing about designers is that we don't really talk to each other like that. We talk about the business and we talk about the projects, but we don't actually talk about this whole how we are feeling, how we are dealing, because no one wants to, I don't think people want to admit that they have done wrong or they are struggling, because it's all about how everyone else sees you, isn't it? But I love it. I just love this kind of honest conversation. And like you said, you are learning, I'm learning, and I think people who will be watching will learn loads as well. So definitely, if someone's watching this and you've got comments about this, or you go like, oh my God, yes, the same, just put it down in a comment. Let's have a little chat down there.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Sintija. And should we move on to the next point? Let's talk about site work, something that I struggle with and I know that you enjoy. I wanna know how you manage your client when it comes to sites. Do you see your clients inside? What exactly happens usually?
Right, so on site, hopefully by that point, you have all the design ironed out. It's design freeze has happened. So it's not like you are still uncertain about things. In real life, there are usually some things that are still being like designed and confirmed, but that's like more stuff that, you know, as a designer, we are confident that that's going to be delivered. So it's our problem to kind of sort that out in a background. Client doesn't need to know that, you know, there might be still some manufacturing drawings going back and forth that need detailing or, you know, confirming. So on site, once you're there, usually in like a bigger company, for example, where I work now, we've got project managers. So those are people who are literally dealing with everyone, all the contractors, all the deliveries, time management there on site. So we are kind of just joining in to support and to ensure that the design's been installed properly and according to all the plans. And you know, you get your hands dirty as well. You do some styling, you do like, you know, manage around, maybe move some furniture around just that looks better. But usually there's a project manager who deals with it. And with a client on site, I think it's because I've got more like commercial projects and the clients are a bit further away. They only come in when everything's done. Then they walk through and you do some snagging and, you know, just look at things that need to be fixed up and stuff. So, and usually everyone's obviously so impressed because they love my design. At that point, it's all right. But I think when you deal with more like independents and maybe in like residential, people are a lot more picky because it's a lot more personal. You know, for an independent and small business, it's every single penny counts. Everything counts. So they might be more picky on site. So you need to know, again, you need to turn on your like human radar, personality radar, and know how to deal with these people. Just be a bit more sensitive. You go on. What about you? I know you've got troubles on site and you've got all kinds of stories.
I don't like the site anymore. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm collaborating with one of my friends right now when I'm getting a project just to make sure that she handles the site aspect. But from my experience, sites can be very, very tricky. And first of all, the payment is barely ever enough to cover your commuting to the site and coming back. So that term, what I learned from it is that you need to charge hourly for your time in the site. And for me, because I didn't have a project manager, I worked with a retail, and with before that, it was a fed-out company. It was a small company. So I always had to do the project management myself. So there is that aspect that I thought, you know what, I should have taken masters in this just to understand the process more. But also, if you're not interested, then you're not interested. Why force it on yourself? Why not double up on your strength? I know I'm better in conceptual design and in furniture pieces, things like that. You'll learn these things and you'll make a lot of mistakes, and detailed contract, to go back to that point, about the responsibilities in site and who handles the trades is very essential. One of the aspects that I think is very tricky, especially here, is managing trades in the site. I know we're stepping away from the client aspect of the things, but I do realize that managing trades usually is expected by interior designer, by the client. So in a way, we are kind of responsible in their eyes for trades mistakes. And tell me this, Sintija, does it ever go 100% according to the plan?
Oh God, never. Never. Ever.
That's normal, and it's such a stigma that, oh my God, there's a mistake. And usually, especially for residential clients, they hover around and they're helicoptering you and they're looking at every aspect that you're doing. And all these mistakes, even on shows that on TV, it happens. It's just that they cut it out, they edit it out. It's the normal thing. And to me, this is one of the forms of client management, is setting boundaries. So when they don't have to step, if it's a contract between you and the trades, then they don't meddle in between you and the trades, and you're free to say, you know what,
this is not okay, you've messed up the design here, messed up the design there, but they can't interfere with that. Or if they're managing the trades, then you're stuck completely out of the picture. And you know what? You have your responsibilities, I have mine. You chose this package because it's cheaper, then it's totally up to you.
Exactly. And you are correct. You are right to say that. If that's what's been agreed, if in the beginning of the project you say, okay, I'm not going to deal with the tradespeople, with the contractors, you need to either manage them yourself or get someone on site like a project manager. You know, there's loads of project management companies and freelance project managers, because they just jump from a job to job, and that's what they do day in, day out. You know, you just agree to be there to assist and ensure that the design will be delivered, then that's it. You're good to go. But some and most, actually, yeah, most designers will be like 100% involved. Obviously, that's not your favorite part. I love it though. I love being on site and speaking with people. I'm always like a little bit cheeky, and I was like, well, can you please put that on that wall for me? And you know, I'm trying to like squeeze the lemon as much as I can, because you know, you just want the project to look great in the end of the day. And they are usually fine. They're like old men, and they go, yeah, that's fine, we'll do it. I'll go and grab some hammer or whatever they need.
It's very different. I think this is where the cultures come to play, because here we barely have anything in common, and we can't be cheeky. If anything, you have.
I would struggle.
Strict with them. That's the thing.
I think that's what we need to remind to the viewers as well. Is I am working in the UK. This is completely different situation from you. And it's just us, our two countries, and then imagine all over the world. It's completely different as well. So definitely don't take this as black and white. Just keep in mind that it's different within different countries.
That's true. And it's also very interesting because we do have a lot of things in common too, which is crazy, because we're how much, I don't know how many miles away from each other, but
Well,
it's still like there's common grounds, and it's interesting to know what your experiences is. So tell me like your most favorite client story, if you would like, of course, and your worst experience. I'd like to know both, if that's okay, if you want to share it.
So let's start with the best. I think the best moment is when I can't really pick out a most favorite project, because all of them are quite like fulfilling, and none of them has been like, you know what, I hated that. There have been like the worst bits, which I'll talk about then, but the favorite part is definitely in the end when you are sat there having a brew, having a coffee with your client in the space, and they go around and say, yes, we love it, or that looks great, and you know, you're just having that kind of a cherry on top, that chat. That's the best thing. And when things work out, and then you get return business as well, you know, like they actually go, that you finish the conversation, well, actually we've got like this and this area to look at, do you want to come like next week and look at it? And you're like, boom, yes, 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 yes.
That's good. That's amazing. That's the best feeling.
Yeah, I think that keeps us going. That at least keeps me going. I don't know, what about you? Is that something that drives you to do more work and carry on, or for you is something else?
I don't know, not exactly this aspect. I have a project right now and I'm working on it. I'm prioritizing it. It's an urgent project, and the thing is, I got excited, carried away, and I showed the renders to my client ahead of time. She had this, like, a lot of things that she didn't like. The thing is, this was the most positive thing that ever happened to me. Although she was telling me what she dislikes about the project, she said it in a very interesting way, and I really value connections like these. She sandwiched the feedback, and I realized that she was doing that because when you get good clients and educated people, and from the beginning you know that they're polite, they tend to do things like that, and you feel closer to them, and you start, you know, forming a friendship kind of. I don't know if that's the same way with you.
Like you're on the same level. You know, you feel like they respect you. Yeah, they respect you, you respect them. Yeah.
And so she was like, you know what, first of all, I really appreciate what you did. I really love it. Thank you for delivering this early. And then she goes like, you know what, I wish there was less wood. Like, there's a lot of wood in the project because right now I'm in this phase where I really like wood in my project.
Take it out.
Yeah. And then she's like, she said those things, and then she goes back, she's like, I really love it though, I love the taste of it, it's just that I appreciate your hard work, and I'm just really attached to this particular beach house because this is what I'm working on, and I want it in a certain way. And I'm like, I would love to do all these changes, you know, free of charge, anything you would want, because you're speaking to me in a very respectful way. I can't be anything but respectful back to you and do exactly what you want me to do. And when they communicate with you clearly, it's just, to me, this is the best part, the connection.
Yeah, the connection with the client. Yeah, definitely. It's when you find your kind of people, I guess that's rewarding. Yeah, and like you said, you would love to do all that work for them, you know, make all that changes just because you've got that nice connection. And I think it works the other way around as well. So if you got the good connection with the client will be forgiving maybe the next time, or even with, you know, more understanding. If you do make some kind of mistake or something goes wrong down the line, they'll be like, okay, you know what, it's fine, they're my friend, we are friends, and, you know, let's just get over with this. How can we resolve this? And I think that's why client relationships are built over, you know, like going out for a meal, going out for a drink, just kind of being out in a more relaxed environment. Like, companies spend a lot of money entertaining clients. Let me just put that in there. It's a secret. But it is true. So much business has been kind of agreed on, and so many business deals have been agreed on when you are just out for meals, out for drinks and things like that. So it's definitely something that we should add in this video. It's not just like, I'm sending you a proposal, you're gonna take that proposal and that's gonna be it. No, it goes way beyond that, way beyond.
I'm a one-person's company, but I'm so glad to hear this from you, because you just confirmed something that I feel is true. Because usually the first time I meet a client, I take them out for lunch or for dinner or for coffee, whatever they want. And I do feel like it's better because I ask them a lot of questions about their kids, it's a very personal relationship. You want to know exactly who you're designing for. It's tricky. You can't read what's in their mind. You can see their Pinterest board, but you can't read exactly what they want. So in a way, you need to kind of be, what is it called? Like psychologically aware of the client, and they will also connect to you and give you more business in the future. The same client that I'm talking about today, she actually came because I designed, like, for 3 of her relatives, I designed like small bits and pieces, and now she's giving me a beach house to design. So it's the whole family is like, I love them. I freaking love them. They're amazing.
Exactly.
And usually I also throw like another area, like if the area is not within the scope, I throw another area for free, just because like it makes them, as well as you said, more forgiving and more grateful to you, and they appreciate your efforts more.
And you are over delivering. You are going that extra mile beyond what's been agreed. That's definitely earning you brownie points. And I think return business, if you can get return clients, that's just it. That's gold. You know, if you can get people coming back.
Know who they are, what they like already, so you don't have to,
Exactly. You are fast tracking through. Yeah.
I love it. And what's your worst experience? I don't want to end on a bad note though.
No, we're not gonna. You know what? Okay, I know how we can turn it around. Worst experience is when I think it's when the client didn't pay. No, it was more like, it was a situation when I was working with someone else who introduced me into the project. So we were working kind of together, and then that person kind of flaked out. There was things going on in the background that I didn't know of, and the whole project just went all, so what's going on now? Who's working on this? And that just put a real downer on everything. So I tried to kind of pull it all together and said, like, look, we can still do this, let's move on, let's carry on. But it just didn't work out at all in the end. So that just leaves like a bit of a nasty taste in your mouth, doesn't it? When you've got such big hopes about one project and it doesn't turn out the way that you planned. Yeah, but you know what? I think from every kind of sour experience, you can, first of all, learn things. I learned so much from that project that didn't work out, and I'm gonna apply a lot of those things, a lot of those lessons into the future projects and how I deal with projects, clients, any associates, any other external people. And you know what, at the end of the day, it's something that I still can add to my portfolio. Okay, I might not have a completed project, but I still have that concept and the visuals and material boards and things like that. So I've still gained. I might have, lost a good client, possibly a returning client eventually, but it's life. It's life.
More from failure than from success, I feel.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's the upside to all of this, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just.
What about you? Your worst client?
My worst client, it still keeps me up at night. I think I need to deal with it. I need to deal with it somehow. And it's a combination of a lot of things. Expectations. I didn't manage expectations well, so I'm taking responsibility for that. But also the contractor went out of his way to screw me over. And yeah, that was really depressing, because also the contractor was working with a client beforehand, so she trusted him more than she trusted me, and it was my word against his. And although there was documentation of this whole thing, I had to fire that client and I had to say goodbye to her. And up until now, I feel like I should have done a better job at things, like, but it was a whole story. Yeah, and sometimes your personal life as well affects your business. So I was in a great space mentally, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just being 100% open. It just sucks sometimes when things don't work out the way you want them to work out. But I've learned a lot from that interaction, and I learned that I hate sites. And that I need to collaborate.
I'll take of it. It's great.
It's a good thing to learn. It's a good thing to learn what you like to do. It's a powerful thing to do. And learn that you suck at certain things in life.
Yeah.
But all is good now. All is well. All the clients I have, thank God for them. I love them to pieces. They're the best, and I'm sure you have similar feeling because you filter out the bad ones. You weed them out, unless of course it's like through the company.
Yeah, like it's easier to do that when you've got your own clients, private clients. Definitely, you know what you like. You even find areas where you prefer to be working on, the types of projects you prefer to be working on. So you learn that. But yes, in a bigger company, you get what you're given and you have to work with that. And even now, the couple of projects I'm working on, it's been a very rocky road, super rocky since the beginning, and I've had to like bend over backwards. I don't know what's the saying again. Go all the way out to, make it happen. But the good thing about it is that with the client that I was quite like distant in the beginning, and I was maybe not with the best relationship and didn't think the best of them. Now we are actually so close, and we are, chatting away about all kinds of things and being on conference calls and just talking like friends, really. We are on the same level now. So like I said, it can be turned around, within time. Don't just give up completely. It's all up to you at the end of the day.
I totally agree. You should see what you're comfortable with and the way that you feel is best handled by you, and stay true to yourself, more or less. And I totally agree with you. Sintija, I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so freaking much. Go subscribe to Sintija. She's the best. I don't know what to tell you. Her energy, she's just sunshine everywhere. And that's how I feel about her, for real. Like, she's a really close friend of mine. And anything you...
Stop it! I'm quiet.
We love you, Sintija. Thank you so much for being here. Oh my God, we did it.
Thank you so much for having me. This is the best thing. Like I said, I was so close. I was so close to messaging you yesterday and just say, like, you know what? I've had a rubbish week. I don't think I'm in the mind space, because it is challenging. It's very challenging to be, like on this lockdown situation. Like, I get that positivity back, and that's where I get my energy to give to others, and that's why this is so important. So important.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I was gonna message you as well. I was feeling
no way.
I swear, but I was like, stop being flaky. You're flaky. I'm flaky. Stop being flaky. And then I was just like, you know what? No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna dress up in the morning, especially we're fasting today, so it's just. It's a bit harder without coffee. Excuse the low energy throughout this video.
Oh, your energy is fine. It's all good.
I really hope that you have a great time and great day and great... You know what? This whole thing is going to be over. I totally feel you.
Thank you so much for having me. Go subscribe to my channel. I'm sure there's going to be links down below. Follow me on Instagram. I do loads of kind of little behind the scenes, everyday stuff, as much as I can on there. And yeah, hope to see you on another video.
Hope to see you in another video. Bye guys. Have a great time of the day wherever you are in the world. Goodbye. Do you want to do the hand thing together if you want? Just like...
Oh, how do you do it?
Bye.
Okay.